So the next card is Beauty, where we pretty much just need to find something that we enjoy, find something that we find serene or nice within our life. A lot of times we're focused on the negative, right? We have the coronavirus has hit and we're quarantined in and things aren't going as well as they should and a lot of negative things are happening. We sort of lose touch with what's around us that's beautiful, what's around us that's nice, right? So take a sort of a moment, take a bit of a time out and check out things that are around you that you find serene and calming and things like that. And this is Neptune in Cancer, Divination 1 and 7. So we're sort of talking about here with the ethereal or the higher planed picture of what's going on, right? So maybe there's a reason for what's going on, what's happening that will later improve us or will later improve our situation or will later make things a little better as maybe we're more prepared for something or we're more in tune with something or things are looking better or the rebound is great and things like that. So beauty is important to sort of get back to the essential nice things that we see on a day-to-day basis and sort of look to that as being something positive and things that are positive and great that we can look at and focus on instead of just focus on nothing but the negative, right? So the next card is obviously Contemplation. And that's where we have not really planned this situation as well as we could. We need more planning. We need more strategy here. So what's the difference between this and strategies? Contemplation is more of a, take a look back. Let's look at our current plan and find out, how can we optimize it? Let's get with other people and find out their opinions on it and get sort of a level set position with the particular situation. Because a lot of times we just need to think it over. Maybe we haven't thought it over well enough. Maybe the plan that we came up with or the strategy that we have is not exactly optimized. You could get into situations to where you just don't have the proper strategy. You just don't have the proper way of doing things, right? And so when I say strategies, I'm talking about the other card called Strategies. So if you look at strategies itself, that's more about working out the basic strategy or working out the actual solution, right? Contemplation is taking a look from a higher level and determining what other factors are we missing? What are the things do we not have in our mind? So take a look back. And this could be that there could be a simpler solution to this, as well. Whereas strategies would point to getting the solution optimized that we currently have in mind. Contemplation is more of a coming up with the strategy, coming up with the step one, right? So contemplation, again, Saturn in Gemini, be careful who we communicate with, be careful what we say sometimes, because that Saturn could come back and bite us a little bit. We could have a situation where that's not going to be the best. So contemplation says, take a look at the overall thing that you're sort of going for, right? So, which is, again, different than strategies. It's a subtle difference, but it's still there. Strength. Strength really points to the Strength card within, obviously, tarot and whatnot, that says maintain state. Maintain what you need to survive. Maintain what you need to lead as well, right? So strength, as per the book, strength is your power and your stability. So it's time to summon the stronger side of yourself. And that's difficult to do sometimes because a lot of times, just like in the Strength Tarot card, sort of taming that lion, a lot of times things tend to be difficult to tame or things tend to be difficult to manage. We come into a situation where we feel like we have no power, but we do have power. We can maintain our perspective. We can maintain our control and our abilities within the situation and sort of ride out the storm and on the other side be a little bit stronger. And a lot of times that needs to, like you're talking about here, doubting voices. See, some of these doubting voices need to be squelched. So a lot of times you need to get those voices that are negative, get the things that are negative within our head and squelch those get those under control, because a lot of times those can make life very miserable, right? You could get in a situation where you're just very miserable. And Venus and Leo sort of embrace that Leo side, where we can shine, we can be ourselves, we can hold on to what we have and have love within that without having to succumb to things that look like they're out of our control, right? And that seems, a lot of times that's it as well. Like with again, bad example with a coronavirus thing. It seems out of our control, but it sort of still is in our control as to how we react to it, right? A cliche there, but it still does hold very true. It still does hold very true. All right, weathering the storm. Similar to, obviously, strength. Strength just says that we need to maintain our power, maintain our strength. It doesn't necessarily say during hard times. It could be good times. We could have a great time. But we could be in a situation where we're challenged at work. Somebody is challenging us at work. They're being a butt, or they're being, a butthole at work, and we need to maintain strength with that. It could be that work said that, or you're looking for a job and they don't think you're qualified, and you're sort of, maintaining strength for that. Of course I'm qualified, here's my stuff. So that's, strength is like that. There's not necessarily a storm. Weathering the storm sort of means just batten down the hatches and ride it out. Just ride it out. And how is that different from surfing the waves? Well, because weathering the storm is more of okay, we're in hard times, we're in troubled times. This could be where we find out who our real friends are, right? We get them, see if we can get some help. We get our friends and see if we can sort of get through the situation together. We can form a group with other people that have the situation as well. There's a lot of things that we could do to weather the storm and get with other people, find our resources, because our resources are key during a big storm, right? And also, weathering the storm means to prepare for it. So how is this different from surfing the waves? Surfing the waves says we're just riding along with the situation and going with it. We don't really have a strategy. It's not a hard time. Again, the surfing the waves said just ride with it. So if we have a group of people at work that have a project, we don't like the project, we're just going to surf the waves, we're going to ride along with it, we're going to get through it, and we're going to try to contribute what we can, right? But weathering the storm says that we have something big, something hard, a hard time coming, and it's time to get the storms in our lives and be able to work through those. That also includes preparation. A lot of times we don't prepare enough, okay? For example, again, back to the coronavirus. A lot of people did not have adequate supplies at the house to survive for 3 months, right? So you kind of have to have enough supplies to survive 3 months. You can't go day to day. And I think that woke a lot of us up to the fact that, hey, I may need filtered water. I may need a water filter for the sink so I can have, filtered water that's not, city water that's nasty with all the chlorine. And I may need some bottled water in case the water goes out. I may need a couple of cans of food, enough to last maybe a month or so. So weathering the storm says get those preparations ready. Get those preparations ready, because we may be in a situation to where we need those. And that is critical, right? Mars in Aries. Mars represents that action feel. We need to take that action. We need to move forward with something. And Aries is a very upfront, strong, getting things done. So we have like this double action, call to action, this double call to action here. And weathering the storm will really sort of get us there. So that's going to be very key in a lot of ways to get through some of these situations that we've been in lately, and obviously for the future as well. So the next card is personal power. So what does personal power kind of say to us, right? Personal power talks about, that's 19. Okay, personal power talks about don't lose your power in a situation. If you walk into a situation, everybody has a disagreement with you. Not everybody is fully in agreement with you're not in full agreement with what everybody else wants to do, right? what everyone else wants to do may be completely different than what you want to do. Personal power says let your choice be known. Communicate that, right? Get that Leo side where I'm going to be getting you feedback. I'm going to be announcing my opinion, and put Jupiter into it. Make sure that your personal power is represented here. And don't give up that personal power for anything, right? Maybe do some negotiation. If everyone disagrees with me on this project or what have you, I can negotiate, sure. But if the team decides something, I can go with it. But I'm not going to just go with it without giving my opinion. I'm not going to give up my personal power. And that goes in life as well, right? A lot of times the family will insist that you do something, and this means you need to stand up and use your personal power and voice your personal power. So how this is different from speaking out? The speaking out card points to just letting everything be known, voicing everything out. Sometimes you don't have to do that. Sometimes your personal power is nonverbal. Sometimes your personal power is how you walk, how you look at things, right? When I say speaking out, that's there. So in other words, speaking out could represent, let me give my opinion on this, but also speaking out represents, let me communicate and make sure that communication's done. Personal power sometimes is not necessarily communication. Sometimes it's a stance, or it's a way of looking at things, or it's a leadership position, feel within yourself that you need to maintain and not give up. So personal power means reach in, find your personal power, understand your personal power, and let it be known and let it be there, right? All right, so the next card is going to be, my book. Next card is going to be inspiration. And inspiration is pretty key here. Inspiration is pretty key here. Let's say we have artist block. Let's say we have artist block. It happens to all of us. It doesn't matter what you do. You could play music, you could paint, you could draw, you could be doing tarot readings. A lot of times you just lose that magic. You just lose that magic and you can't go on. It seems like everything is going against you. You're having a rough time getting anything done. Inspiration says to pull through that artist block. And this is Jupiter in Sagittarius. Get that Sagittarius feel of, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do it, doesn't matter what it is, let's do a bit of adventure, get the Jupiter and pump that up, right? Pump that up a bit and get that inspiration within you. And you can find inspiration from a lot of different places. From, if you're doing artistry, you have these beautiful people on YouTube posting stuff. You can go there and learn some new techniques. You can see some new wild techniques you've never seen before. Get all excited about it and go do it. But inspiration says don't lose that inspiration. Keep that inspiration going, because that's important for you to keep using it. If you're not inspired, you're not going to do squat. You're not going to do anything. And that is a waste of time. That's a terrible shame if you just don't do anything. Inspiration says to keep going. If you're doing drawing, if you're doing painting, you can't stop. You can't take a break for a year. You have to do a little bit every day. You don't have to do major paintings every day. You do a little bit every day. And that's how you get to be amazing, is a little bit every day. You can't take a year off. You can't take 6 months off. If you have a block, try something totally new, something totally different. Find that inspiration and keep going. Anyway, that is part 3 of the Echoes of Nature course. Please hit like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. We got many more parts to come. See you next time.